presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
It is a beautiful but very windy day here in Jupiter, Florida. He's in the lineup. That's Dexter Fowler. News concerning Matt Carpenter we'll get to. And Yachty, he's in the lineup as well. The Cardinals, the Nationals coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Spring training 2017 rolls on, and today from Roger Dean Stadium in Jupiter, Florida, it's the St. Louis Cardinals playing host to the Washington Nationals. And for the first time this spring, I can say hello to my good buddy, Al Raboski. He's back for another season. I'm Dan McLaughlin. I know we're excited about this spring training so far.
Well, we really are, because the Cardinals they're going to be chasing the Cubs this year, but I think they feel like that's a good position to be in. They're really looking forward to the season, but we got a lot of spring training left.
A lot of the regulars are in the lineup today for Mike Matheny's club, and that includes his everyday catcher, the all-star, and that's Yadier Molina, coming off a terrific second half from a year ago. We'll see if that carries over to this season.
Yeah, and I think it also bodes well for Peralta. I think Peralta will be in that situation where his thumb is recovered like it happened for Molina in the second half, and boy, Yachty was really hitting the ball well.
It's the second spring start of the year for Lance Lynn. He'll get the call today for the St. Louis Cardinals. It's the Cardinals, it's the Nationals. Spring training 2017 on Fox Sports Midwest.
Tuesday at noon on Fox Sports Midwest.
St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you in part by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by the Chevy Silverado, the new face of strong, Chevrolet. Find new roads at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. Another gorgeous day here at Roger Dean Stadium in Jupiter, Florida. There's a look at some of the numbers in the career of Lance Lynn. Good to have him back out. Raboski, as he is healthy and ready to go for 2017.
Yeah, that's really nice, you know, because when he was the 4 years prior to the Tommy John surgery, he was in the rotation. He had the 6th most wins among all major league pitchers. He had 60 wins. And, you know, you think about it, it was Scherzer who had 69 the most. So he's been a winner. He's always gotten off to good, fast starts. We hope he can, in his second start here, he just wants to increase his velocity a little bit, also to throw more strikes.
There's a look at Dusty Baker's second year with Washington. The lineup presented by Chevy. Some of their top prospects are in this lineup, like at the top, Wilmer Defoe, then Grant Green, Ryan Zimmerman, a mainstay for years with the Nats, Clint Robinson, Joseph, Snyder, Taylor, Severino, and Goodwin. Their pitcher today, by the way, will be Gio Gonzalez. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. The Cardinals defensively, a lot of regulars are in there. Randall Grichuk in left, Dexter Fowler in center, and Sierra is in right. DeYoung, Garcia, Wong, and Jerko along the infield. And Yadier Molina is behind the plate before he heads off to the World Baseball Classic. Well, I mentioned there's some news with the Cardinals today, and it's not good news. Hopefully it won't turn into really bad news. But speaking of the World Baseball Classic, Matt Carpenter talked to the Players Association yesterday. Mike Matheny reporting to the media that he will not participate for Team USA. Concern enough with the sore back that it could go into that side and that issue that he had with the oblique. So he's going to miss some time and not play for the World Baseball Classic Team USA.
And we don't want to be all doom and gloom, because he is still being able to do some defensive metrics. It's just swinging the bat right now is the problem.
And the first pitch by Lynn to Defoe is a strike. And that's one thing when Lynn is right. A lot of strikes from Lance, not a lot of walks.
A lot of fastballs, and I talked to him before the game, and he wants to throw more strikes. You know, this is a situation where he's a little different than most guys coming off of Tommy John, because he's had 17 months to recuperate. Most guys coming back at 12 months, you know, really have some problems.
Defoe with a fly ball into center. There's Dexter Fowler. One away. Excited about Dexter wearing that Cardinal red?
You know, it just seemed like it was a natural fit. The Cardinals to go out and acquire him as a free agent. You're not making a trade where you're giving up some of the very valued prospects. And so it just seemed like a natural fit that it's only money. And I know you are so good at spending the owner's money.
Well, you should see my wife. She's even better. Here's Grant Green. And Green on the first pitch pops it up. Second baseman Colton Wong. This was something that the team was working on today, was just simply trying to find out who's going to take charge on the infield with pop-ups, and Colton Wong was a part of that drill.
And you mentioned in the open that how windy it is. I was at the game yesterday against the Nationals at another ballpark. It's, you know, less than 13 miles away from here, so about 15 minutes away, a couple stops up the highway. And what a beautiful facility for now the Washington Nationals and Houston, but the wind was blowing in briskly.
Said it was 25 miles an hour coming in.
It was unbelievable. I mean, guys were just trying to do everything they could, trying to hit balls out in VP, and it would just hit a wall and just fall straight down.
Ryan Zimmerman, the DH today, had a tough season a year ago, and that's popped up again. And that'll find the seats just below us. By the way, if my wife was watching, I was just kidding about that spending money part.
I was going to say she's already already left the house and she's in the car. Plaza Frontenac is going to send her a limo,
sure,
right?
Why not? Here's the 0-2 pitch by Lynn to Zimmerman. Washington a year ago, very good club, 95-67. And within the division, they were 51-25 as they ran away. A lot of big names in this lineup. Potentially could be a dangerous team. Ground ball that's handled at third by Paul DeYoung. Throw up the line, and Zimmerman diving in safely to avoid the tag of Jerko. Now DeYoung is a natural third baseman that's been moved to short. Looks like he'll be the everyday shortstop this season at Memphis. He's had a very good spring for the most part.
Yeah, he's one of the top prospects in the Cardinal organization and close to the big leagues. Not only can he play third base and shortstop, but he's also has the ability to play second base. So really an outstanding and potentially that utility guy that can move all over the field.
Here's Clint Robinson, bench player a year ago for Dusty's club. What would have been interesting is regular season play that the Cardinals, let's just say for argument's sake, they wanted to challenge. Now you have 30 seconds to make that choice to challenge. And I asked Mike Matheny about that today. I said, you know, when does the 30 seconds start? How do you know that you're out of time? He said, it's a good question because it's still a gray area for us among the managers. And he said one thing that we may do is put a clock, a physical clock in the video room. Then they can tell him, all right, Mike, we're down to 5, we're down to 4, make your choice. And then at that point, make the decision to challenge or to not challenge.
And I think also what both of us would agree with is then the umpire in New York that is going to evaluate whether it's an out, safe, whatever the call is, only has 2 minutes. That should be sufficient time.
Commissioner has made it a point to try to speed up pace of play. Here's a ground ball backhanded by Jerko, and a nice start first inning here for Lance Lynn. Dexter Fowler will lead it off when we come back, and there's no score from Jupiter. In air in the top of the first, and there is no score as we move to the bottom half. The Nationals and the Cardinals, and there's our Chevrolet starting lineup. Fowler, Molina, and Grichuk, followed by Piscotty, Jerko, Wong, DeYoung, Garcia, and Sierra. The switch hitting Dexter Fowler will face Gio Gonzalez and the Nationals here this afternoon. Fowler, an all-star a year ago, as he hit 276, popped 13 home runs. And it's interesting when you talk to the players, they mention the component of bringing some life, some fun, relaxation to the clubhouse, in addition to some music. But they love what he has already brought to the table here in the first couple of weeks.
Big personality.
Yep.
And very, very friendly to everyone. And I think the Cardinal fans are going to fall in love with him.
Fowler chased that pitch and pops it out of play. We were leaving the complex the other day, and Dexter Fowler signed every single autograph request. They lined up at his car, and he said make sure that everybody gets what they need signed, and took selfies. He's been great with the fans down here too. Inside, And it's 2-2.
You know, last year he had an on-base percentage of .393. That was best in the National League. And you think about Diaz, who could bat second, and then Carpenter would bat third. All three of them top guys of reaching base. So Cardinals cleanup hitters, the RBI men should have a chance to clean up. And he's always going to be deep into the counts. You know, we always talked about how Matt Carpenter would see so many 3-2 counts. You're going to see the same thing from Fowler.
3-2. And he draws a leadoff walk. First game that we did, first game of spring training, the Cardinals scored a run without a base hit. And you couldn't say that many times last year, if at all. And it was just like this. It was Dexter Fowler with a walk, a stolen base, a couple of sac flies, and it was 1-0 St. Louis, and that's already his 6th walk this spring.
I was just noticing that he's only have, you know, 5 official plate appearances, but 6 walks. So he continues to get on base, and that bodes well for whoever hits behind him.
Yadier Molina again has come in tremendous condition to this camp. Quick move and Fowler back in. Yadi heads off to the World Baseball Classic for Team Puerto Rico coming up. Are you a fan of that?
I am. And I think in a lot of ways it brings back a lot of memories of playing winter ball and seeing how crazy the fans are.
Gonzalez looking back into the home plate umpire. Hasn't liked a few of these calls that have not gone his way. 1 ball, no strikes on Molina.
Want to speed up the game? Call more strikes.
That's part of it. Gio now in his 6th season with the Nationals.
He was 11-11 last year with a .450 ERA for the Nationals. Made 32 starts. Strikeout per inning, basically. A hit per inning.
1-0 pitch. Ground ball could be 2. Backing up Joseph. Out at second. Turned by Green, and it's a double play. 5-4-3 on the double play. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. Goodwin, Taylor, and Snyder in the outfield. Joseph at third. Defoe at short. Green and Robinson on the right side of the infield. And Severino, one of their top prospects, is behind the plate. Here's Randall Grichuk. Has 1 home run this spring, 4 RBIs, and now he is your everyday left fielder with the departure of Matt Holliday to the Yankees. Ground ball that's hit to short. Walker raced on the double play. Grichuk grounds out. We played an inning, and there's no score from Roger Dean Stadium. Jupiter, Florida, spring training home of the Cardinals. Along with Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin, and we take a look at Al's Toyota keys to the game.
Well, Lance Lynn is so important for him. He's going to be in that rotation. He needs to throw strikes. That's the one thing he said to me before the game. He wanted to throw more strikes, increase the arm speed. And then when you think about the pitching staff, you know, they are victimized by poor infield defense. How to correct that is you have to play Wong every single day. You know, Carpenter's going to be at first every day, not switching to all the positions. And then I think Diaz is going to be that much more solid there. But Wong is a real key. Just going to have to play him every day and see what he can do. You know, just find out whether, you know, I think last year when we didn't sign Hayward, the one thing I said was, okay, we're going to find out about Wong. We're going to find out about Adams, Grichuk, Piscotty. And the only guy we really found out about was Piscotty.
There's a tap foul. Talking with Colton yesterday for quite a while, and he said it's a fresh start. He said, I'm going to have a good spring. I feel I'm going to have a good year. And that's the way I'm approaching it. 2 balls and a strike on Joseph. That pitch taken high.
There's a lot of guys like Joseph that have had major league time, but kind of bouncing around, journeyman, potential major leaguer, AAA kind of guys. That's where a lot of the
another ground ball, this time to Colton Wong. Joseph, who was in the Yankee system, is retired.
We got these 6-year minor league free agents, which they get these kids, and then they get an invitation to spring training, and that's why you get you come to the camp and you got 65 to 70 plus players in camp. Now it makes sense this year when you're playing with the World Baseball Classic to have those extra arms and bodies around.
First pitch taken high by Brandon Snyder, the right fielder. We were in February having split squads, you know, and you're worried about, at times, if you're a manager, just getting through the games with enough pitching in the innings. That is a foul ball, and then all of a sudden you've got a couple of games to cover.
You know, I was talking with Dusty Baker about, you know, these athletes are bigger, they're stronger, they're more athletic, they've got, you know, they're nutritionists, they got their weight training, everything going for them, but they can't handle the workload. You know, Dusty was saying, you know, hit by the pitch there, but all my regulars, after 3 innings, they're all coming out, well, they got ice on a back or a hamstring or this or that. He said, you know, you guys are going to have to learn how to play 9 innings. And they come in much better shape than the players in my era.
Dusty is second behind Bruce Bochy among active managers and wins. San Francisco, Cincinnati, now with Washington. And here is Michael Taylor, the center fielder, off to a good start, hitting .462 with a couple of home runs this spring, and the breaking ball is taken high.
The Nationals went out and made a big trade for Adam Eaton because Michael Taylor last year couldn't hold the position. They gave up a lot of, you know, 3 premium prospects, pitching prospects, to get Eaton.
That pitch was up and hammered out to left. And it's pulled foul.
Dusty Baker was a great competitor, an outstanding player in his time, but boy, has he become an outstanding manager and a people person, great communicative skills. Sometimes it's a little hard. Some of these young players may not get bruised their egos a little bit.
Finished 3rd last year in the Manager of the Year award in the National League. Went to Dave Roberts of the Dodgers. Terry Francona won in the American League.
Everybody said Dusty did an outstanding job. Really changed the culture in that clubhouse and on the field for the Nats.
2-1 the count. Another check on Snyder. Last time the franchise, whether it was Montreal or Washington, won at least 90 games back-to-back years was 1979-1980 seasons. That was with the Expos. A couple of Hall of Famers on that team. Andre Dawson, the kid, Gary Carter. Great jump And no chance for Yadier Molina. This was a point of emphasis, according to Mike Matheny, was holding runners this year as the numbers dropped for Yadier Molina in terms of caught stealing a year ago. It was his lowest in the big leagues, and he said, well, it's misleading. A lot of that goes to our pitchers.
It really does. And you know, I've noticed clubs down here are already have taken advantage of some of the Cardinal pitchers.
The 2-2. Back to Lynn, and a potential rundown as he never forced the runner into that rundown. So Snyder back in safely to second base, and Taylor is aboard.
And you bring up a very good point. You know, he had him trapped off. Snyder had him trapped off the second base, but you've got to kind of run at him and then commit it, shorten up the distance. But just throwing it here, and it's a lob toss. And, you know, Lance knew he made a mistake there, and that allowed Snyder to get back to second so they don't get anybody out.
So teaching moment there, Al. You hop off the mound, you run at the runner and try to commit him back to the original bag, and then you get him going.
Exactly. And then by shortening it up that way, you know, the batter who's at first base cannot go to second. You know, if you had him in a rundown long enough, the hitter can get to second.
This is Pedro Severino, the 8th place hitter for the Nationals.
You mentioned he's a top prospect with them, but he's never hit. Defensively, they think he's an outstanding prospect. But a lot of people kind of look at him that he's going to have a long major league career as a backup.
1-0 pitch, broken bat, slowly hit, and Garcia gets the shore out at first. Runners advance to second and third. Catching spot for the Nats will include Derek Norris, who they picked up. Jose Lobaton, and then Severino, as you mentioned, could be in the minor leagues.
And then they recently signed as a free agent
Matt Wieters
from Baltimore, and he has an opt-out clause, so they really do have to have Norris and some of these other guys in case you know, he opts out after 1 year. Matt Wieters.
So runners at second and third, and it brings in Brian Goodwin, left fielder. We're in the top of the second, and there is no score. And the breaking ball drops in for a strike.
One thing I've noticed about Lance right now is velocity isn't that, you know, as high as what we hope it'll be, but he is throwing free and easy. The worst toss was the one to third, you know, where it was deliberate, but there's no little hitch. That's one of the things you look for, a guy coming off of surgery.
0-1 pitch. Fastball misses in.
Kind of snaps as he takes that, receives that ball back from Yachty, but I think, you know, if you want to miss, you want to miss in like that, not out over the plate.
Lance also brings that edge and that nastiness to the mound, and that presence or lack thereof a year ago was felt in the clubhouse, and I think you could say the same thing with the departure of John Lackey.
I was talking with Johnny Rodriguez, one of the Cardinal minor league managers and the father of Sean Rodriguez.
How's his son doing?
Well, he says it's better, but he was involved in a very serious accident, and he'll be out until, I guess, about be able to start playing maybe in May or June. But his family was involved in that. Wife broke her leg. Could have been a lot worse, he said. But I was saying about Sean, and we have been very impressed with him. He signed as a free agent this offseason with Atlanta, but we saw him the last couple of years with Pittsburgh, and the ability to play all over the diamond. And they said he was the best defensive player they had at all their positions. But I said, you know, he's got a little temper, he's got a little edge, and he goes, yeah. And I said, you know, there's nothing wrong. You can always dial that down, but you can't dial. If somebody doesn't have that edge, you can't get them to do it.
And a strikeout for Lynn. So the Nationals will strand 2. And the first strikeout for Lance Lynn. Steven Piscotty burst on the scene a year ago. The Cardinals cleanup man is coming up next. Roger Dean Stadium, Jupiter, Florida. Stephen Piscotty, the DH, leads it off, followed by Jed Jerko and Colton Wong. Gio Gonzalez, his second inning of work, and the first pitch is fouled back. Piscotty a year ago led the Cardinals in RBIs and runs scored. He's now 25, hit 22 home runs, 85 RBIs. And he might be in the most enviable spot in the lineup because of what you were talking about earlier. All the on-base guys that potentially could be hitting in front of him.
And we talk about, you know, 3 of the top, I think 5 in the National League in on-base percentage of Fowler, Diaz, and Carpenter. So if they're hitting in front of Piscotty, as you said, many opportunities to drive in a run.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Piscotty. Curveball is hit on the ground towards third softly, and Piscotty is out. Very close play. We saw at the tail end of the top of this inning the final pitch from Lance Lynn. He was bent over, and we were wondering, well, did something grab in his back, or is there some issue physically? But seems to be all right. And the telltale sign usually is if somebody's warming up and nobody's throwing in the Cardinal pin. Here's Jed Jerko, 30 home runs a year ago. And he's at first base here this afternoon. The Cardinals may use him a little bit more at first base, we're told, in spring training, just to add that to his resume. And rips that into center field. That ball will get down. So the first hit for either side, and it's a single for Jed Jerko.
And Jerko just continues his fine hitting. You know, like I said, the 30 home runs he had, you knew he could swing the bat, but I was impressed defensively with him. I think he played much better defense than I was led to believe, or what I saw from him when he was with the Padres. So he's going to get plenty of time at third, short, second, and spelling even Carpenter. So he'll get plenty of at-bats. He's just going to be that super sub.
Now Colton Wong. And remember, when the Cardinals signed Jerko, it was the idea that, well, he could be a pinch hitter, but also when you're facing a lefty, he plays second base. And that may be the case a little bit this year, too.
Sure. And see how Colton hits the lefty.
And Gonzalez again staring back into the home plate umpire. 2 balls, no strikes. He's not been happy and shaking his head a little bit with his strike zone. Colton a year ago hit 240, 5 home runs, and drove in 23. And there's a strike.
Young home plate umpire Ryan Addition. First time I remember his name.
The 2-1. DeYoung is on deck, the Cardinals' third baseman today. Think about just how good the Nationals could be this season. A lot of it depends on health and a bounce back year from Bryce Harper. Check on the runner. That's Jerko.
You know, an outstanding pitching staff. Their starters, they really don't have a defined closer. Sean Kelly will get that opportunity. They have some starters, don't they?
No, do they?
And then they try to very hard to trade for
Chris Sale.
Yeah. You know, and then when they couldn't make that deal, they go, well, you know, we have a pretty good starting staff. We'll try and get our center fielder, and worked with the White Sox and got Adam Eaton.
Cardinals faced Steven Strasburg in the game yesterday. 4-6-3 on the double play. So Jerko erased on the double play. We played 2. Spring training baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. Now, before you know it, the Clydesdales will be at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. It'll be opening day. And it's a night game against the Chicago Cubs. That game will be carried by ESPN, but don't worry, we will have the entire festivities for you. You won't miss a minute of it. And one of the great traditions in baseball, opening day will be carried by Fox Sports Midwest.
You know, I had Stan McNeil, who helps us out, a great writer, asked me the other day, he said, you know, about opening day when I played, did we do the trucks? And I go, I can't remember. But I said we didn't have the Red Jackets because Gibby and Lou were playing. Red was managing, and only could have had Stan, but you know, so we didn't have, you know, one versus what the Cardinals do now.
There's a base hit into center field for the leadoff man, Wilmer Defoe. Defoe's an interesting prospect for the Nationals. He was kind of a guy that was lost in their system, and then all of a sudden in 2014 he becomes the South Atlantic League MVP and back on the radar for the Nationals, and then eventually was called up to the major leagues. So he's aboard. Good speed at first base, 1 for 2 in the afternoon, and now it's Grant Green.
I don't think Defoe's going to get some he's not going to break in as their regular shortstop, though.
They've got a good one in Trey Turner.
Sure do. And now he's back to his normal positions, shortstop, where when he got to the big leagues last year and had a phenomenal success, he was playing center field. But with Adam Eaton trade, now he can go back to his natural position, shortstop, and he had 35 steals in really half a season.
Here's a 1-1 instead of quick check and an error on Lynn. That gets by Jerko, and Defoe on his way to third. Sierra, the right fielder for the Cardinals this afternoon, gets it back in. So runner at third and nobody out here for the Nationals in the top of the third.
We can see why he wanted to throw over, a big, large lead, but then he threw it too wide, and Jerko couldn't get it. There you see the good speed from Defoe, and leadoff base hit, 2-base throwing error by Lynn, and he put himself in a tough situation.
Cardinals defensively will play the corners in. Ground ball that's hit to short. Garcia, tough play off balance. And there's one away as the run does score.
Nice play by Garcia. Danny, I find most of the time a pitcher's mindset when you have that runner at third base and nobody out is you just almost concede that they're going to score the run. And most people complicate it by trying to, you know, make perfect pitches, and then they end up walking a guy or two. So, you know, it's the run is all on Lynn with the 2-base error, but don't complicate it by trying to make it perfect pitches and then get yourself into a big crooked number.
So 1 out, 1-0 our score. Ryan Zimmerman a year ago hit just .218 with 15 home runs and 46 driven in. He has made the transition from third to first base. He still has 3 years and $48 million remaining on his deal.
Yeah, remember he had the throwing issue and just couldn't throw from third base over to first, and they had to move him to first base. But
0-2 pitch. Oh, what a play here. Colton Wong. 2 down. Nicely done by Colton.
That's why we say he's got to play every day. You know, hard smash right there, plays a little bit to the side, but he makes the play. Catches it as it's gone past him, and then the ball hit so hard it was easy to just make that little routine crow hop, get yourself under control, and throw the ball over to first base. Times he's had trouble was some on the routine balls where he has too much time to think about it.
So 2 outs, and Clint Robinson yanks that foul and out of play. You wonder if Dusty Baker's lineup, and again, I mean, he's got some superstars in this lineup, but will they be vulnerable to left-handed pitching? There's a lot of lefties in this lineup with the addition of Eaton. You think about Bryce Harper, who struggled last year. That pitch is taken low. But they have a lot of left-handed punch, but, you know, you just think about, could they be vulnerable to lefties this season? Daniel Murphy, who had a tremendous season.
Second MVP balloting.
That award went to Chris Bryant of the Cubs. Robinson is at first base today. Hits a fly ball into shallow right. Sierra is there. DeYoung, Garcia, and Sierra coming up for the Birds. Bottom of the third. Washington with a 1-0 lead.
You don't look like you.
At 17 with Cardinals all-inclusive tickets. Choose from the UMB Champions Club, Bank of America Club, Legends Club, and new for 2017, the Proficient Red Jacket Club. All-inclusive tickets include food, drinks, plus a great view of the game. Get yours, cardinals.com/all-inclusive. A season ago, the Cardinals drew 3.4 million fans. Just an amazing amount of folks coming to the ballpark night in and night out. Strike two, Paul DeYoung. Had a very good Arizona Fall League. And I was talking with Mike Matheny before the game. I said, give me some names that have really made the jump from this time last year and caught your attention here in this camp. He mentioned DeYoung, Bader, Austin Gomber, Sandy Alcantara, who's a hard thrower. And also, we'll see him do up third this inning, McNear's Sierra. He said really he's been terrific defensively. But those are some of the young prospects the Cardinals have.
And I think you could put Carson Kelly in there. But I've kind of been impressed with it just seems like there's many more young, real young position players in this camp. Prospects of the future.
1-2 pitch is a high fly ball out to left. Goodwin is back on the track and makes the catch. Mentioned some of the numbers a year ago in spring training. Last spring, the Cardinals and the Marlins combined for a total of 7 home runs. They share this complex. Only 7 home runs hit a year ago in their games in the entire month in spring training.
And they had 5 last Saturday.
Right.
5 home runs. They've already hit more home runs this year here at Roger Dean than they did all last year.
There's Garcia with 1 out and nobody on. Greg is out of options, but he has really improved himself defensively the last year or so, especially at shortstop. So you'd have to think he's one of your top pinch hitters.
Yeah, I was going to say his ability to pinch hit is going to keep him in St. Louis. And the fact out of options kind of, he's proven that he can do the job.
With 348 last year as a pinch hitter. Breaking ball and a good one from Gonzalez. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Cardinals hit a total of 21 home runs, with just 6 of them at Roger Dean last year. They've hit 9 home runs.
Fly ball into center. Hangs up there for Taylor.
There's 7 of them already hit here at Roger Dean. Today and yesterday, no one was really going to hit home runs the way the wind blowing in.
So here is Sierra. Now he's getting this call today in right field. He's a center fielder by trade. Cardinals feel he can play all 3 outfield spots and be above average. He can run, very good arm. Let's see his speed here as he gets down the line and makes it fairly close on a routine grounder to second base. Cardinals go in order. We head to the 4th. Nationals on top. It's 1-0. On the 4th of April. It's a Tuesday night in St. Louis. And again, we will carry the opening night festivities for opening day in St. Louis. Lance Lynn is at 44 pitches now. That'll help out as he's pitching into the 4th, and a fly ball to Dexter Fowler. And there's one away. Corbin Joseph is 0 for 2, and it brings in Brandon Snyder.
Mike Matheny said right around that 50 pitch mark. So if he could get 2 more outs, complete 4 innings, I think everyone would be pretty happy. Broxton is throwing if he needs a little help.
I think it would surprise a lot of folks to know that Lynn and Adam Wainwright are the Cardinals' all-time postseason pitching leaders in appearances with 24. I mean, they've been part of a great run.
Yeah, and it's a little deceiving because, you know, when you think of Bob
Extra
Gibson,
playoffs.
the extra playoffs.
Base hit into left field, so Snyder is aboard. He was hit by a pitch first time up. It's 11 of 16 first pitch strikes for Lance Lynn. But it's one of those numbers you look at, it does catch your attention.
Yeah.
You know, he's been a part of some big runs for the Cardinals in recent history.
And Lance has 5 postseason wins. That's tied for 3rd most all-time by the Cardinal pitchers. Tudor trailing only Chris Carpenter with 10 and Bob Gibson with 7. But there weren't no league championships. The Cardinals participated then, or wild card games or any of that when Gibson was playing.
Lynn has gotten a number of ground balls here today. Take one right now and get that double play. The flip side, Washington has turned 2 double plays against the Cardinals.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
Outfield for the Nats will have Bryce Harper, Adam Eaton, and Jason Worth. Worth is entering his final year of his deal, 7th season. This will be for Jason Worth in Washington, and then Taylor would come off the bench.
That was a big contract that Worth signed back then, but nowhere near what they're talking Bryce Harper may get in 2 years.
This will be the 6th consecutive year the Nationals be among the favorites to win not only their division, the National League, but the World Series. Franchise has not reached the NLCS over the last 5 seasons, despite winning their division 3 different times. Last year they lost the division series against the Dodgers.
And they won 3 of the last 5 years. Their division. They're a little worried about our Scherzer.
There's a fly ball into right. Let's see the arm of Sierra. Could be 2, and he is safe.
There's the high throw right there. They would have beat him if Jerko could have kept his foot on the bag. But Sierra has a cannon, play all 3 outfield positions, great speed. He's been a minor league player of the year. Close play. You can see if he didn't have to get up on and jump, and a good call by the umpires. Part of the rotation, that first base umpire, he's got the responsibility of watching the play in the outfield.
There's Pedro Severino. Top of the 4th, 1-0 Washington. RBI by Grant Green in the 3rd. Mike Matheny recently was asked by an MLB coach about Sierra, and he said, well, is he going to make your club? And Mike said he hasn't been past A ball yet. He said, but that's how impressive he has been in this camp, to where other teams have taken a notice that Sierra has been one of the better players on the field.
And Sierra will turn 21 on April the 7th. And as you said, he hadn't played. He's already been a minor league player of the year. He's got great speed. He'll increase his stolen bases as he goes along. And right now, the only thing that the last thing to develop, he's really truly, you could say he's a 5-tool guy, and the last thing to really develop is the power, and a lot of people think that will come with more experience.
Well, we saw him a couple of years ago, and he was rail thin, and he has put on some weight, a lot of muscle.
I kind of look at him and I kind of think of Polanco from the Pirates. You know, kind of grow into that body a little bit.
Yeah, we walked all the way around there yesterday.
Pirates will move Andrew McCutchen, by the way, from center to right field this year. And Starling Marte will be the center fielder. Pulled down the left field line, and a home run power and distance, but pulled foul.
And I got a look at the complex yesterday that the Nationals and the Astros share, just a few miles up the road here. It's beautiful, spectacular.
It's good to see teams in the area. It's really cut down clearly on the travel for a lot of these teams down here. There's a grounder that's hit to short. Garcia goes the short way to Wong. Teammates in college. Nice work by Lance Lynn. The second start of spring. 1-0 midway through 4. TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, enjoy almost 300 spring training games and the 2017 World Baseball Classic. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Chevy called to the pen, a non-roster invitee, and he's a 6-time All-Star. That's Joe Nathan, in a career that began with the San Francisco Giants back in 1999, and he's open for one more crack at it here with Dusty Baker and the Nationals.
And I mean, a lot of people in baseball will be rooting for him. One of the premier closers.
He gets the top of the lineup, and Dexter Fowler. There's Gio Gonzalez. Went 3 innings here today, the starter for Washington. Lance Lynn at 54 pitches to get through 4. Fowler walked his first time up and sends a fly ball into left. Good win near the line, and he's there to make the catch, and there's one away.
Lance Lynn becomes the first Cardinal pitcher to go 4 innings, right?
That's right.
You know, you just watch him. I mean, he looked free and easy. You know, he made the big throwing error that cost him the run. But I think he's just easing himself right into it and right on pace for where I think he wants to be. He knows he's healthy.
Well, I know we've been talking about velocity. It was low 90s today. And he'll tell you, and those that saw him at the end of last year when he was pitching in some minor league games, he was mid-90s. So it's there.
Yeah.
Just building it up. Here's a 1-0 to Molina. His first time up, grounded into a double play.
And the luxury that a position player that knows that he's got a spot, or a pitcher, even Lance Lynn coming back from injury, you know, he's going to be in that rotation, so they can just kind of go at their own pace. And you know, it's all what you want to do is it's almost mentally you flip the switch once the season starts. May work on something early in spring, try to do this, try to do that, but then you get real serious towards the end and get ready for the season.
The 2-1 to the backstop. Bullpen was very good a year ago for the Nationals. They had a collective ERA of 3.35. That was the best in baseball. But Mark Melancon signed as a free agent with the Giants. He was their closer for the final 2 months. They went after Kenley Jansen. He re-signed with the Dodgers. So still trying to figure out who might eventually be that closer day in and day out. 3-1 pitch. And Molina pops it up. Shallow center. Taylor calling for it and makes the catch for the second out. Two down, and it brings in Randall Grichuk. The open today, we talked about Molina, his second half, and you think about when Grichuk was called back up in August and then finished with a tear. You know, he was outstanding down the stretch for the Cardinals mid to late August and September. So 2 outs and nobody on. First pitch, a strike.
And Dan, I think everyone feels that you could see the mental change in Randall Grichuk. That he's not, you know, swinging blindly. He's understanding the strike zone a lot better.
And there's a base hit. Just fair down the left field line. And it's an extra base hit for Grichuk. Over half his hits went for extra bases a year ago.
Yeah, he's 24 home runs, but the ball just jumps off his bat. And anyway, he did the 48 games since he came back to the major leagues from the second time being demoted. And that's what they think is going to be more of a true indication of what he can do. He's still a young player. And sometimes you forget about some of these guys like Grichuk, how young they are.
And here is his roommate down here in spring training, Stephen Piscotty. He was clutch for the Cardinals, led the club with 37 2-out RBIs. That was 6th most in the National League. We'll see if he can't come through here with 2 down. Runner at second, Randall Grichuk. First pitch to Piscotty. Fouled back.
Well, the one thing we noticed from Piscotty, you know, the Stanford graduate, intelligent, but he has great baseball instincts. And one of the few players today, young or old, that can make an adjustments inside in a bat. And that's why you're seeing him being able to handle that fourth spot, the cleanup spot, and do so well with runners in scoring position.
Here's the 0-1. Fouled back, and it's 0-2. Big happy birthday to Justin Passmore. And the Passmore family reunion was with us a year ago, all over the place. And Justin is taking in a little spring training baseball. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Piscotty. Instead of check on Grichuk. The 0-2 pitch by Nathan. On its way. Nearly to the backstop.
High throw, and catcher almost lost the arm socket reaching up there.
1-2 the count. Cardinals a year ago finished 10 games above the 500 mark, 86 and 76, as they really struggled on the road. An oddity when you think about the long history of the Cardinals.
Yeah,
you got to believe that would change this year.
The first time since in Busch Stadium 3 history that they had, you know, under 50 wins. They had a losing season at home and under 50 wins.
It's only 13 times now that has happened where the Cardinals have had a below 500 season at home. 13 times in 125 years. Here's a 1-2.
Such a tremendous environment when the Cardinals play at home. 45,000 every game, and screaming fans that are just so supportive. It makes a difference. I think there's so many things about last year that were uncharacteristic. The infield defense, the lack of base running, a lot of things that they worked on this spring.
The 2-2 did not go from 0-2 to a full count. Jerko is on deck.
Close right here, but you see that side view, it always looks like you go through, so be careful on this one.
Piscotty hitting just 111 this spring early on.
Had an extra week of spring training, so you see managers really have been slow to really, they're not pushing anybody right now.
3-2 pitch. And that time he got him. Strikeout of Piscotty. We played for Jonathan Broxton in the pitch when we come back. 1-0 Washington. Schedule features 8 bobblehead giveaway dates, including a unique Carlos Martinez and Matt Carpenter double bobblehead, 2 final out bobbleheads, and more. Get your tickets through one of the 5 or 10 game promotional packs or as a single game ticket at Cardinals.com. It's our Chevy Cole to the pen. He's in the final year of a 2-year extension signed with the Cardinals, and that's right-hander Jonathan Broxton.
Very durable, makes a lot of appearances, 2-time All-Star. He was a closer with the Dodgers. Really had trouble at home last year. Numbers on the road were outstanding, less than 2 ERA, but at home has jumped the ERA for the season up to 4.30, but he had an ERA of 6.83 at home.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Brian Goodwin. Here's a guy in Broxton that is really respected in that clubhouse. Was a premier closer, as you talked about. A couple of all-star games, and one of the favorite teammates of many of the Cardinals because of what he's gone through in his career. He's been around for so long and seen so much, and willing to help out the younger players too.
Very quiet, but he has a great sense of humor, and as you said, well respected there. Doesn't say much, but when he says something, they usually pay attention to it.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Goodwin, taken high.
Still getting up there a little bit, mid-90s.
Bullpen will feature Seung-Hwan Oh. He's already left for the World Baseball Classic. Even though he will start on Monday, it looks like Rosenthal would wind up in the bullpen. What really could be a strong suit for this club. Fly ball into center, and that is Sierra puts it away. So Sierra is shifted from right into center field. Back to the top of the lineup, and Wilmer Defoe. And Broxton and Segrist, new addition. Brett Cecil. Matt Bowman has looked good early on. And a strike to Defoe.
I say this little guy, talking about him defensively and very fine shortstop, but got a little pop in his bat.
Oh, 1 pitch. Good sinking action. Defoe is 1 for 2. He scored the lone run in this game.
Very good point, Danny. Not only the sinking action, but the way he's kept it away from the left-handed batter, and that little tailing away from the swing.
How many spring trainings for you now, Hungo? Player and broadcaster.
Every year since 1970.
Wow. Those at Old St. Pete.
Old St. Pete.
Let's slap the other way. Club moved to this complex 1998.
How about the average age of a St. Petersburg resident was back then?
I don't want to hear it. I know what you're going to say, and you shouldn't say it.
Well, this was Jack Buck's line. Deceased.
Awful. Here's a 1-2. Slow roller hit up the line and foul.
Danny, they literally would have 2 to 3 ambulances at the ballpark every day. 1 for the players and 2 for the fans, and it was not uncommon to see somebody having a medical emergency almost daily.
A ball and 2 strikes on Defoe. Outside. Saw that shot of Dusty Baker. He's now 67. Guided the Nationals to 95 wins a year ago. Rick Shue is his hitting coach. He's added Jock Jones as an assistant hitting coach. Mike Maddox back as the pitching coach. Chris Spires on his bench. Davey Lopes. Guys that have been doing this a long time.
Yeah. Dusty's assembled a pretty good coaching staff. A lot of great teachers in it. And he's just a tremendous communicator.
Son Darren is committed to play baseball at Cal. 3-2 pitch. Nationals a year ago were 17th in baseball with a .256 average.
Scored a lot of runs.
Franchise record 763 for them. 3-2 again. And he struck him out. So Broxton has got the first two here in inning number 5.
Not only did Dusty's team score a lot of runs, but his pitching staff gave up much fewer. Like you said, 51 wins in their division, which a lot of people thought was the toughest division in the National League.
Mets have their great pitching back. Braves could be an interesting team with some of the veterans that they've added and all the young kids that they've traded for. They've stockpiled now one of the better farm systems in baseball. Here's Grant Green, 13th overall pick by the A's in 2009. He was with the Giants a year ago. Got a little playing time when Joe Panik was on the DL for San Francisco. And he grounds it to the left side. And it's a 1-2-3 for Jonathan Broxton. Jerko, Wong, DeYoung coming up for St. Louis. 1-0. Nationals on top. It's 1-0, 2 hits aside. Cardinals have committed a couple of errors, and there is Matt Albers. Finished up last season with the Chicago White Sox, and he's been all over the place. Houston a couple of times, Baltimore, the Red Sox, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and now trying to find a spot in the bullpen for Dusty Baker with the Washington Nationals. So we have seen Gonzalez, Joe Nathan, and now Albers, and he'll deal with Jed Jerko, who has the first hit in the ballgame for the Cardinals. Cardinals with 2 hits total. Grichuk also a double back in inning number 4. First pitch, he goes after it. Lines it into right. It's tailing away. This ball may get down. No, it doesn't. Nice play made in right field by Snyder.
About the coming out the bat of a right-hander, that ball's going to keep on slicing away from him. And a very nice play.
Stevenson, not Snyder, who was just replaced in this game. Andrew Stevenson.
The beauty of 6-year minor league free agents.
Beauty of spring training baseball.
Yeah.
Here's Colton Wong, and it's strike one. Wong bounced into a 4-6-3 double play first time up.
Before they had these 6-year minor league free agents. You know, you sign a professional contract, you could be 17, sign that contract, and you were property of that organization for life.
Into shallow left. Diving catch made in left field. Brian Goodwin, outstanding play.
Remember also here coming off the bat of the lefty, he's going to slice towards the corner, but also with the wind here, you just seem like you keep on coming in and the ball's eluding you. So two very fine plays right here to help out Albers. Get those plays, you make the ball club, right?
That's right. Also a part of spring training, pitchers getting in sprints in the outfield, in the field of play, and that's what they're doing right now behind Brian Goodwin. Here's DeYoung, who flied to left first time up. Get in your work, one way or another.
And you don't often see the Cardinals running sprints on this field because they can go behind the wall and actually behind the clubhouses and go out to the minor league fields in the background. But the visiting team doesn't have that luxury.
Here's a 1-1. When DeYoung reported to the Arizona Fall League, he started taking grounders at third base before doing a quick head count. He was one of 3 at the corner, and there's only one at shortstop. His manager, the former outstanding center fielder Aaron Rowan, said, "You're in the wrong spot. You've been moved to short." And that's where he's going to play this season, more than likely in Memphis. And the catch is made. Albers, a 1-2-3. We head to inning number 6. Nationals on top. In the top of the 6th, 2 hits aside. Cardinals have used Lance Lynn, Jonathan Broxton, and now Arturo Reyes. Not a big guy, 5'11", 197. He'll face Ryan Zimmerman. This is Chevy Cole to the pen. Reyes pitched for AAA Memphis the entire season a year ago. Had a couple of stints on the DL with rotator cuff tendonitis. He'll turn 25 on April 6th. Arturo Reyes. Ball gets away from the Nats bullpen. That's why we have a stoppage in play. Nice round of applause for Dexter Fowler as his day is through, and he's heading to The clubhouse. It's off the end of the bat into shallow left, and the catch is made by Randall Grichuk. Edward Jones honored to sponsor the St. Louis Cardinals Hall of Fame and the annual induction process that gives fans a voice in honoring the team's greatest players. And you can be a part of the fan voting process today. Submit your vote on the 7-man ballot at cardinals.com/HOF. I'm going to show you the 7 that you can vote for. There's a strike to Matt Skoll. Carlton, Hernandez, Izzy, McCarver, McGuire, Renteria, all a part of that list. Little chopper that's hit to third.
Danny, I think it's safe to say every one of these are deserving, and every one of them will make the Cardinals Hall of Fame at some point. But you can pick, what, two? Two of the 7 are the 2 highest vote getters will be voted in this year.
Mark McGuire last year was very, very close. I mean, within single digits of Joe Torre being a part of the Cardinals Hall of Fame. Joe went in obviously last year, as did Chris Carpenter. It's such a great program that I think the Cardinals have developed. I mean, it's a tremendous afternoon. Great way to honor some of the tremendous players in Cardinals history.
They do a great job emceeing that. Is this the 3rd or the 4th year?
This will be the 3rd year coming up, I believe.
So I mean, talking about 125 years of history.
There's a ground ball. Greg Garcia is there. And a 1-2-3 for Arturo Reyes midway through 6. Nationals on top by the score of 1-0. Bears in this game. One of those led to a run, and it's 1-0 Washington. This is Jimmy Cordero in our Chevy Colt to the pen. Nationals added this power arm to their 40-man roster. They feel at some point he will be a part of the big league club. He was acquired from the Philadelphia Phillies in exchange for a player to be named later or cash considerations. Invited to big league camp this season. He's a 25-year-old. He went 10-12 with an ERA just under 4 in a 5-year minor league career. It started with the Blue Jays, and he now comes over from the Phillies.
And he must have been hurt last year because he pitched at the rookie league, A-ball, AA, and AAA.
No, you're right.
And the first batter is Greg Garcia.
You're right. It's completely different.
Garcia fly to center first time up.
Mentioned that Garcia and Wong were college teammates at the University of Hawaii. Reyes, who just had that 1-2-3 inning for the Cardinals, was a teammate of Marco Gonzalez at Gonzaga.
Talked to Marco yesterday. He'll throw in competitive action coming up probably in late April, early to mid-May, in that range as he recovers from surgery.
Yeah, he really hasn't pitched in a year and a half.
Right.
Not the Tommy John, this one.
A swing and a miss by Garcia. Cordero, the fourth pitcher used by Washington today. Began with Gio Gonzalez, then Joe Nathan, Albers, and now Cordero. Here's Mike Maddox, their pitching coach, on the left. His brother wasn't too bad, was he?
No, he wasn't. Greg, you would see him sitting in the stands. You know, you'd think he was a CPA or something, especially when he wore his glasses.
The 2-2.
To see that little YouTube video of
surprising Chris Bryant at Cubs camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had no idea it was him. He was in disguise.
This guy throws pretty good.
Yeah.
He's got pretty good at breaking ball.
Ball moves all over the place. We got to sign this guy. Boy, what he could do with a baseball was just ridiculous.
You know, I used to say that if you know, if I was a National League scout, I would just watch his games and see how Greg Maddox, Mike's brother, how he would pitch to hitters and write it down and said this is how to get them out.
Sure. Most could not move the ball like him, and nor did they have that kind of control. 3-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss, and that's how we start the bottom of the sixth. The point is, though, if you have control and you can move the ball and have a pretty good idea of what you're doing out there, you don't need to be throwing 95 to 100 miles an hour consistently. There's a lot of people I talked to down here in camp that and it was brought up because of the David Price situation, who had the MRI and had a second opinion, and there was a lot of talk that there might be Tommy John, and it's not. He's going to be held out for a while as a bunt is shown by Sierra. But the point being, we were talking about Tommy John, and it was folks that are involved in the game every day, and some of them were scouts, and they feel this epidemic is hit because so many guys are bigger and stronger and max out, to where, you know, you saw 20, 30 years ago a starter not necessarily max out with velocity.
You know, if you go back to half a century, you know, everybody threw hard, and they really didn't develop breaking ball until you hurt your arm, and either you became a breaking ball pitcher or you went home. You know, there was no surgeries, so it really has evolved with the rotator cuff and Tommy John surgeries. And now, you know, Dr. Paletta, who's back at the Cardinals head position, you know, he's got a new procedure where it's a partial
swing and a miss, and Sierra down on strikes.
You know, a partial tear of the ulnar nerve, and he did that procedure on Manus. Did he get signed by everybody?
Kansas City.
Kansas City, that's right. Where his recovery time was almost cut in half.
Cardinals added Brett Cecil and Dexter Fowler, John Gant, who we may see in this game, gone. Jaime Garcia trade to the Atlanta Braves as you get a look at Todd Cunningham in his first plate appearance.
And it looks like we're going to see John Gant be the next pitcher for the Cardinals.
Matt Holliday now with the Yankees. Brandon Moss with Kansas City. Jeremy Hazelbaker gone. He's with Arizona. You'll see a very unique motion with John Gant. Not from the stretch, but from the windup. Traditional how he pitches from the stretch, but we'll see that odd motion when he takes to the mound to start inning number 7. 2 balls and no strikes on Cunningham. And a ground ball hit to the right side. Race to the bag. Cordero is there, and the Cardinals go in order. Just 2 hits today for St. Louis. 2-0 Washington. On Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you in part by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals, and by Steak and Shake, 24 meals under $4. Arturo Reyes stays in the game for the Cardinals, and it'll be Stevenson who leads it off. Andrew Stevenson for the Nationals. Our score 1-0. 4 hits total in this game, 2 aside. Reyes had a quick 6th inning.
He didn't let John Gant get any pitches in as the Cardinals went down quickly also. Now, yesterday these two teams matched up. They went to extra innings. Cardinals won 2-1 on just 5 hits.
And they picked up the win thanks to Alberto Rosario and his base hit RBI. There's a line drive base hit into right center field. So Stevenson is aboard. Still in this game, and normally this point in spring training you wouldn't see him playing in behind the dish, but that's Yadier Molina still in the game. Some of the regulars still in: Jed Jerko, Garcia, Wong.
Well, is this Yadi's final game before going to the summer, leaving on Sunday? As you mentioned, O's already left. Carpenter was going to go on Monday, or I guess stay in Fort Myers.
Double play ball. Wong, a flip to short, nicely done. 4-6-3. How nice was that? Started by Colton Wong.
It was a quick flip right there. And good thing Garcia was there covering. But like you said, go back to their college days at Hawaii. Right over the bag, and he was hustling right there to get to the bag and got it. Once he made that play and stepped on the bag, it was an easy throw to first.
Taylor, a tough guy to double up. He gets down the line, but right at Wong, and they turn 2. Here's Pedro Severino, and he looks at a ball. Beautiful day here at Roger Dean Stadium in Jupiter, Florida. Very windy, but the sun is shining brightly. 1 ball, 1 strike. With Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin with you. The spring training complex shared with the Cardinals and the Marlins. The 1-1. Grounder that's hit to third. Nice work, Arturo Reyes. 2 scoreless innings. Time to stretch. Nationals on top, 1-0. Spring training baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. of the year. Well, this time it's a night game, a Sunday night game with the Cubbies in town, and we will have the festivities for you. Coverage begins at 6:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. The players will be introduced, the Hall of Famers and the Clydesdales. We move to the bottom of the 7th, 2 hits aside, and the Nationals have a 1-0 lead. New pitcher in is Trevor Gott. This is our Chevy called to the pen. He was picked up by the Nationals along with Michael Bradley in the Yunel Escobar deal. So he's pitched with the Angels, and originally he was drafted out of the University of Kentucky, 6th round of 2013 by the San Diego Padres. So Gott has the 7th, still in this game. Yadier Molina, he'll lead it off with Grichuk behind him, and then Steven Piscotty. Seeing Yadi still in this game makes you think that he's probably off to the WBC.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to leave tomorrow. And we mentioned early, but if people didn't hear it, that because of the injury to Matt Carpenter, he was not going to participate for the American Club in the World Baseball Classic.
He said he was really disappointed. You know, some guys, when they have to miss something like that, it's not a big deal. I want to get ready for the season and stay with my big league team. And according to Mike Matheny, he was extremely disappointed that he could not participate in the World Baseball Classic. First pitch to Molina is taken for a ball, and we're underway here in the bottom of the 7th. Molina has grounded into a double play and also flied out to center.
And I think most clubs, I'm more concerned about pitchers, you know, going to the World Baseball Classic. You know, you have 6 weeks of spring training. Position players don't need anywhere near that amount of time, but pitchers do.
Yadi hits a fly ball that's tailing near the right field line and that Cardinals bullpen, and out of play.
Give you an idea how that wind is blowing now and playing tricks with everybody.
It was Osvaldo Abreu there in right field. He was brought into this ball game an extra from the minor leagues. So you'll see that at times where big league clubs will call up from their minor league camp some of those players to give them a taste of the big leagues or a big league game. The Cardinals minor leaguers report tomorrow. Physicals taking place tomorrow and Monday, and then they get their spring training underway as well on the back fields here at Roger Dean.
Had what they call the STEP program that's been going on.
Had the chance to speak to some of those kids.
I heard that you and Ricky were going to do it. Did they survive?
They did. They do a tremendous job. Gary LaRocque, who's been with the Cardinals for a number of years and helping out with the minor leagues and overseeing much of that operation, they bring in some of the top prospects and they put them through media training and
makes a lot of
nutrition,
sense.
and you know what happens when you are added to that 40-man roster and then eventually a big league club. And we've seen a lot of those players that have graduated over the years from step camp make it to the big leagues.
Let's give them a little full education.
Here's a 3-2 pitch, and Molina looks at a ball. In camp right now, the Cardinals all-time saves leader Jason Isringhausen. Ryan Ludwig is here. Molina's day is through. Braden Looper is here, and some of the Hall of Famers have already been down here as well. Willie McGee is in uniform and helping out. One of our favorites.
Saw every one of them but Willie.
He's here. That's Eric Fryer running at first base. So he will take over for Molina, and here's Randall Grichuk. Fouled back, strike one. Grichuk a double, just one of the 2 Cardinal hits. Also grounded out to short. The other base hit was Jed Jerko to center back in inning number 2.
And Jerko was robbed of a second hit by Stevenson. Good running catch in the right field up against the wall.
Nationals have turned a couple of double plays.
I'm glad to see Eric Fryer back with the Cardinals. It was unfortunate they lost him last year, you know, and the pain you have to come back to the roster and lose Eric Fryer, who's only hitting 600 for the Cardinals.
Right. Doing everything right. Grichuk in the air.
Look at this one.
Wynn playing tricks with this. And the shortstop takes it and makes the catch.
Candlestick. Reminiscent of the old ballpark in San Francisco, Candlestick. The fly ball went up, everybody would converge on it.
Not quite as cold, though, down here.
It's true.
But I understand what you're talking about. A little windy. Candlestick Point. Here's Piscotty, who is 0 for 2, grounded out to third and also struck out. Strike one. At Step Camp, though, those former players, they get after it. I mean, they really try to advise these kids, you know, what big league life is all about, so they're not in awe of what they're about to take part in.
You know, the money that it's being made in the game here, you know, it's just how to be smart with it.
Piscotty was talking about something pretty interesting the other day in cutting back swings throughout the season. He said by the end of last year, pretty tired, pretty worn out. You could see that too, but physically it was wearing on him. He said, you know, the one thing I learned with a full big league season, you've got to pace yourself. If you don't pace yourself, it means trouble at the end.
When you say that to me, and I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. How many times have we talked privately about
too much
take
BP?
Too much BP.
Yeah.
They swing the bat too much, and at some point, you know, you train your muscles. You know, we talk about muscle memory, but you train it in a bad way, bad habits. And at some point, you get tired swinging the bat, and if you keep on going out there and taking batting practice after batting practice, you're picking up bad habits.
Here's a 1-2. And a swing and a miss. Piscotty strikes out for the second time, 0 for 3 and hitting under 100 now in spring. So with 2 outs, here's Jed Jerko.
Jed hitting a cool .545. 1 for 2 today and got robbed of a second hit. A nice play in right field. He can swing the bat, can he?
Quick hands. I think he's got soft hands on the infield too. Have you felt that way?
He really surprised me how well he played defense.
Yeah. You know, not the greatest range, but does move well. He's come in better shape this year in camp too, and he's ready to go. 30 home runs a year ago, the first to do that for the Cardinals since Carlos Beltran hit 32 in 2012. I don't think anybody saw that coming last year with Jed Jerko.
Well, you knew he had power, and he demonstrated that in San Diego, really his rookie season. But was sent back to the minor leagues after he signed a multi-year contract with the Padres.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Jerko. Rounds it foul. Nolan Arenado led the National League in homers. He had 41. Mark Trumbo 47 with the Orioles. The second half, Jerko had more home runs than anybody. He had 23 in the second half.
He and Dozier were kind of battling out there second half.
It was amazing too what Jerko did against his former team. He homered in 5 straight games against the Padres.
Oh, I'm sure if you ask him, there was no revenge there.
He's now 28 years of age, could play all over the infield, and adding first base to that resume today. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jerko. Check on Fryer at first base. You think a backup catcher comes in the game, he can't run. That's not the case with Fryer.
I was thinking the same thing, that Eric has shown that he can runs very well. Good speed. Shown the temperament to be a bench player. Understanding that I've got the best catcher in baseball in front of me.
Jerko hit on the hand, it looks like.
Yeah. Ball coming in on him, and he just can't get his hands out of the way. Pinch runner for him.
They'll get attention on that quickly.
Yeah.
Here's Colton Wong.
Spam pinch running for Jerko, and I'm sure they'll get some ice and check that out with his hand.
The second plate appearance for the Cardinals today with a man in scoring position as Wong takes strike one. Bounced into a 4-6-3 double play in the second and flied out to left. 0 for 2. Hit out of play. Nothing into the count.
Maybe we can watch from this angle and see if he looks as tight as he looked standing in the batter's box last year. He looked a little more relaxed. Bat on the shoulder rather than standing there like a statue and just looked so stiff.
0-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play. Admittedly, he was talking about this right at the beginning of spring, that at times he got homer happy, worried about power instead of trying to spray the ball.
And that's what it looked like to me. At times he would stand in the batter's box and you know, just trying to cut loose and swing for the fences. And you know, as a pitcher, you could just wait and let him just get stiffer and stiffer.
Got like one beer left for real. Somebody buy one beer.
Nothing into the count. 2 outs and 2 on. The Cardinals down by a run here in the bottom of the 7th. Wong trying to extend the inning to DeYoung.
Really having trouble get together with his catcher.
Do you eliminate these in baseball? Catcher going out to the pitcher's mound.
That would really, I mean, Yachty goes out there frequently and usually for good reason. But that is one of the talking about, you know, Players Association won't agree with it, but the commissioner may institute it next year.
In on the hands of Wong, he's jammed, and the Cardinals will strand 2. Still off the board in this game. We head to inning number 8. Nationals on top by a run. on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you in part by your local St. Louis Hyundai dealers. Better drive us. By Shelter Insurance. For your auto, home, and life. We're your shield. We're your shelter. And by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. Always good to see the stars of the game of today. They stop and sign for the fans here. That's what Yadier Molina is doing. His day is through. So Eric Fryer takes over behind the plate. And the new pitcher, big kid, good story. That's Rowan Wick, 6'3", 230 pounds, out of Vancouver, British Columbia. He played in 186 games as a catcher and outfielder, and then converted to a pitcher during the 2015 season. Played 33 games as a position player that year right here at Palm Beach, and then was converted to a pitcher. And he's a hard thrower. And he's greeted with a shot into center field. Sierra going back on the move. Wow, what a play. Sierra is smooth out there in center.
Yeah, it really is. And because of the wind, playing very shallow, and really had to get on his horse and race back here, and very much under control. No panic at all, and makes over the shoulder catch. I had Rowan Wick with me on the Caravan, Dan, and really a nice young man. And as you said, he signed as a catcher. They found out he couldn't catch. Then they made him an outfielder and found out he couldn't hit. So they made him a pitcher. And as you said, last year was his first year ever pitching. And, you know, not only pitches, but goes to the Arizona Fall League, and now he's right here in camp, and everyone loves his arm, a power arm, and a decent breaking ball. So they're really intrigued in the fact that he's only got about 60 innings in his life on that arm. He never pitched in Little League or high school.
It's got to be intriguing, don't you think?
Yeah, and he's got a fresh arm that's got a lot of bullets in it.
So Abreu at the plate, and he takes a pitch inside. 3-0. Abreu, one of those young players called up from their minor league camp.
And you watch Wick, and he really short arms the ball, so he's got that deception. High velocity, and you don't pick up the ball because it's short arm like a catcher throws, right behind the ear, but real short. You don't see, the extension or the arm out away from his body, and watch the release point. He hides it well.
Good example of that would be O. O really hides the ball well. Deception. 3-1 pitch. Now 3-2. Pretty simple delivery, too.
It's real simple. And, he's a catcher. But you see how close he releases that ball to his ear? And, a hitter just doesn't see the separation on the release point.
Another fastball that's popped foul out of play.
And you can see when you watch him in his windup, you can see that he was a catcher at one time.
He was the 300th overall pick back in 2012. And he comes back from 3-0, gets a fly ball hit near the Cardinals bullpen, and he hits a catch.
Cunningham made a nice play right there. You're dealing with the wall there, the bullpens, and the seating area, and the wind just keep on blowing the ball away from you. Great concentration and an outstanding catch.
Now, when Wick was a position player, and this is Adrian Sanchez, he hit for power. Homered every 13 at bats. That was his average. There's the breaking ball. Matter of fact, in 2014, he ranked 8th among all minor league players in that home run ratio, 7th in slugging percentage. And he set the state college franchise home run record with 10 in his first 19 games of the season. And now here he is on the mound. And he'll have a 1-2-3-8.
Tommy Pham, the new left fielder.
And Pham makes the catch. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Crisp ball game. 1-0 Washington. Familiar face to the mound for a lot of our fans back home in St. Louis. From Westminster Christian Academy in the Gateway City, Jacob Turner takes over for the Washington Nationals. Turner's been with the Tigers, the Marlins, the Cubs, the White Sox, and now the Washington Nationals. Matter of fact, it was Cardinals manager Mike Matheny that used to catch Jacob on the side all the time.
Yeah, he was teammates with Tate Matheny at Westminster.
Todd Worrell was very influential in his career as well. He had committed to play at North Carolina, and then it was off to the pro ranks. This is Paul DeYoung. So Turner, plenty of big league experience.
I believe he's on the, not on the 40-man roster. So trying to make it.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. He's only 25. I mean, he's a guy that's got pretty big resume and not on the 40-man. 1-2 the count. Nasty stuff there. Strikes out DeYoung, and that's how we start the bottom of the 8th. Remind you, the Cardinals Kids Club is the exclusive fan club for Cardinal fans ages 13 and under. Tremendous membership benefits include 2 tickets to a Cardinals home game and invite to a members-only autograph party. That's all coming up this season. Mark Taylor and the crew. Cardinals Kids Club. Strike to Garcia. Cardinals with just 2 hits in this game. That's it. Base hit by Jerko in the second. Double by Grichuk in inning number 4. Popped up into shallow left. And the catch is made. 2 down. Brings in Sierra.
And Stevenson, who made a fine play in right field, now he'll make this one as a left fielder. They say he's just a very gifted defender.
We're seeing that today.
We saw that today.
And Sierra looks at ball 1. He just struck out and grounded out 0 for 2 today. Out to deep right. One hops off the wall. Sierra, who can really run, gliding into second base. So a 2-out double for Sierra.
It's always fun to watch somebody that can really run. See that swing right there down in the corner. Get it back in, but not for the double. He thought about going to third, but did the right thing. Picked up his third base coach and pulled into second.
A couple years ago, Sierra, A-ball was a batting champion. So, I mean, he's the kind of guy that will get your attention.
When he hit about it was 380 something, I think.
Yes.
386, maybe.
Here's Todd Cunningham. Fryer is on deck. And a fastball that's taken high. Tying run in scoring position. Cardinals have had just 2 plate appearances with a man in scoring position today. Here's a 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Many times you talk to a manager about a spring training game, and if they know that a young player is facing his hometown team, they'll try to get him in those games, in spring games, and that's what Dusty Baker has done here for Turner, trying to make the club. 1-2 the count. Familiar look of Dusty Baker.
Yeah.
Toothpick.
He's got his sweatbands, the toothpick.
You bet he does. One-two, he's fought off and out of play. Crowds have been pretty good here early on, and they'll get bigger next week and the week after that when spring break hits.
Yeah, I think this weekend kind of start the migration. And also you think a little bit, you know, with having 2 more teams 12 miles apart, you know, that's going to cut down on some of the local people.
2-2.
You know, with Houston and the Nationals moving here to the Palm Beaches, it is really putting a damper on like Atlanta Braves and people like that. They can't find anybody to play now. I guess they got, you know, Detroit and Lakeland, and then Braves and Orlando. They're the ones making the long trips unless they go to the West Coast.
3-2 the count on Todd Cunningham. And he walked him. Cunningham extends the inning to Fryer. Runners at first and second, 2 outs in a 1-run ball game.
If Eric Fryer did what he did last year with the Cardinals, we're going to either have a tie game or a lead.
And then he came back to haunt the Cardinals wearing the Pittsburgh Pirates uniform one night. Went 3 for 4 and drove in 3. Fryer ground ball. It's hit to short, deep in the hole. And out at second base.
Close play there.
Regular season, that's a challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
Take a look.
Safe.
Nats may have gotten a break. Pleased to offer fan-friendly values throughout the 2017 season. If you're looking for ways to save some cash or find a great value at the ballpark, make sure to check out the Fan Value Corner at Cardinals.com/values. New pitcher in for the Cardinals is Josh Lucas.
And he was the closer at Springfield for most of the season. 16 saves there. 38 games, and then was promoted to Memphis for 7 more.
One ball and one strike on Chris Heisey. Reunited with Dusty Baker last year and was just tremendous as a pinch hitter for the Nationals. And name may ring a bell to Cardinal fans. Number of seasons in Cincinnati.
And home runs, too, coming off the bench.
It's fouled back. 2-2 the count. Cardinals trailing by the score of 1-0.
Pretty good fastball hitter, Heisey.
The 2-2. Just missed, a little bit low. Talk about how Lucas can be tough on right-handed batters. He slings the ball up there.
6'5", 208. 26 years of age.
And it's popped up. One away. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Along with Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. This is Drew Ward hitting for the first time today. Catch at first was made by Patrick Wisdom. And a strike to Ward. A little bit of a shift put on here for Ward. He goes the other way and it slices foul. Out of play.
I say Ward last year, Double-A, struggled both offensively and defensively. His first taste of Double-A baseball, but he was very young for that level.
There's an 0-2. Misses in. One ball and 2 strikes with 1 out and nobody on. Playing the top of the 9th, Washington a 1-0 lead. Little chopper to Wisdom. Flips to Lucas and there's 2 down.
Wisdom is normally a third baseman. And you go back to when Piscotty, Carson Kelly, and Patrick Wisdom were all drafted. They were all third basemen. So they made Carson Kelly a catcher, and he's the heir apparent to Yachty, and then Piscotty, we know he's moved him to right field. But they say Wisdom's got a cannon for an arm, great defensively, just trying to let his bat catch up to his defense.
Strike 2, Matt Skoll, his second plate appearance. He's 0 for 1 today. And looking for his first hit of the spring. Well, the Cardinals have 2 hits. Washington with just 3.
And remember, the run scored was unearned.
Right. Cardinals have committed a couple of errors. One error didn't cost them. The other did.
Yep, 2-base throwing error as Lynn tried to pick off runner at first. Then he scored on a ground ball out.
2 balls and a strike. Evens it up at 2-2. Cardinals will have the top of the lineup coming up. Gonna look at Broxton today. Reyes, couple of scoreless innings. Lance Lynn made the start. That would be the big story from the pitching side. It was his error that led to the lone run as he went 4 innings today. And there's a 2-out walk. Brings in Stevenson, who's had a couple of nice plays defensively, one in right, the other in left.
That was number 68, Andrew Stevenson.
Stevenson was drafted 2nd round out of LSU in 2015.
2 outs and a runner at first. Misses outside, ball 1.
We were surprised with his offense. He also had 39 steals last summer at the AA level.
More times than not, and I know that's said to young players in step camp, but you get to AA, you're very, very close. Many players will jump AAA and make it to the big leagues. Lucas a scoreless inning. We head to the bottom of the ninth. It's 1-0 Washington. The new pitcher in for Washington, a left-hander. 1-0. The Nationals have the lead in a beautiful afternoon here at Roger Dean Stadium in Jupiter. At one point, the Nationals had designated Lee for assignment. And here he is. They had to make room on the 40-man roster, but he's able to rejoin the club. And so Nick Lee will try to get the final 3 outs here in the bottom of the ninth, and Patrick Wisdom will be the first hitter for St. Louis. As Al told you, he is the one of the trio that were drafted together that's remained at third base. Wisdom will turn 26 in late August coming up.
See, he's got good size. They say he's very, very good defensively over at the hot corner, but got a little bit of a temper, a little bit, and you know, sometimes he's his worst enemy, which you can get that under control.
He was the 52nd overall pick back in 2012, and this is his 3rd invitation to big league camp. You're telling me that a guy needs to control his temper. You, of all people.
That's why I said you can control that and get it under control. You'd rather see a player with a little bit of fire than one that has none, because you can temper the fire, but if somebody doesn't have any at all, you can't get it.
Wisdom made it up to Memphis last year, played in 78 games, had 5 home runs. Baseball America has him rated as the best infield arm. They do a best tools survey, and he ranked with the best arm. And now, wow, that hasn't been a strike all day.
I put my head down to foot down the base on ball, and I heard you. Whoa. Well, Greg Gibson wanted the game over last inning at the call at second base, and our home plate umpire wants this one over too.
3-2, tapped foul.
Yeah, you only get paid for 9 innings apparently. So let's get 2.
A lot of times in spring training, you don't even have extra innings.
Exactly.
It's a rare extra inning game yesterday. 3-2 pitch. This game could be tied. It is gone. Patrick Wisdom has tied it up, and it's 1-1. A solo home run on a windy day when not many balls would leave this park. Wisdom has done just that.
And Dan, I guess we thank the umpire for not giving him the walk. I was watching him in batting practice, and he can launch him. And this was, you knew that swing should produce a home run, but with the wind, would it cut through the wind? And it does.
Wisdom has tied it, and now it's Stephen Piscotty.
And we're going to have a pitching change. Why he hurt his arm on that one throw.
I bet he wishes he didn't get that call now.
Sit down, Dusty.
Let's keep this up out here a little longer.
But he threw the pitch, and his arm went numb. They did have a reliever warming up, so I'm sure we'll take a look at this. Watch the pitcher after he releases this ball. He immediately knew that arm went numb on him, kind of holding it to the side.
So we'll step aside. We'll tell you about the pitching change when we come back. Patrick Wisdom has tied this game up with a solo home run here in the bottom of the 9th. It's 1-1. For you 6:30. There's a Blues game that day. Right after that, in their post-game coverage, we roll into baseball coverage, and we'll have the opening day ceremonies from Busch Stadium. This is Hill, who's the new pitcher. Taylor Hill, last year in the minor leagues, was a starter. He does have big league experience. Played college baseball at Vanderbilt, originally drafted by the Indians, and now he is with the Washington Nationals. Nobody is throwing in the Cardinals pen. Nobody else is throwing in the Nationals pen. This game is tied at 1. If it remains tied, you may have what we were talking about earlier, where you get a tie ball game in spring training. Might happen.
Might happen. And sometimes the managers will say before the game, and you would think that the Cardinals, being at home, would have plenty of pitchers available, but yesterday the Nationals had a split squad, and they brought some arms, and we've seen just about every one of them. Hill is their 8th reliever used today as you look at the Cardinal bullpen.
And now it's Piscotty with a count of 1 ball and no strikes. Steven 0 for 3 today, struck out a couple of times and also grounded out. A Patrick Wisdom solo home run to tie it. And Piscotty with a high fly ball into center field for the first out. And he's 0 for 4 today. Brings in Tommy Pham. Had a long conversation with Tommy Pham today about his vision. And he was telling me that there are doctors that deal with his specific case of what he has and the issues in his vision and contact lenses and whatnot. They can't believe he's even playing baseball. But he said last year, a lot of issues with the contacts. It was tough for him to pick up the baseball. You just think about not being able to hit or see to be able to hit. Pretty tough in this league.
A little scary.
Yes, it is. He said it's slowly getting better. And Pham is battling for one of those outfield positions for the Cardinals. Jose Martinez will be in that conversation. And also Jordan Schaefer, who can pitch and play the outfield.
Schaefer pitched the other day on Thursday and struck out the side
against his former team, the Atlanta Braves.
I remember he was the center fielder for them and good base stealer.
And Tommy Pham with his good speed is aboard. That's your winning run.
How about Tommy Pham and his eyesight and contacts? Part of my rejuvenation of my body. Cataract surgery 3 weeks ago.
Now you have more surgeries than any of the players every offseason. Here is Valera. He is a top 15 prospect infielder for the Cardinals, according to Baseball America. Check on Pham, who is a threat to steal. Saw Valera a lot early in camp. Slick fielder. He's been in the Cardinals organization for quite some time. Feel he's defensively major league ready, but not so much offensively. Showing bunt, pulls back. DeYoung is on deck.
I was asking Don Mozeliak, the Cardinal general manager, about it just seems like there's so many more young position players, and he said last year he thought it was more like, he used the term, a gap season. And it kind of had to have the fill in and catch up some of the minor league prospects, but there's quite a few this year.
Inside, and that's ball 2, 2-0, the count to Valera.
I think Memphis and Springfield are going to have a lot of young players that kind of on the rise.
Well, Taylor Hill was throwing in the pen anyway, so it wasn't like he was thrust into this game because of injury in terms of trying to get ready.
But Danny, it just seems like any time you have a guy getting ready and then all of a sudden there's an injury and you got to go to the mound, the whole world stops, watches you, and you feel like you're compelled to say, I'm ready. Maybe a batter or two too soon. Let's make it 2. We got the walk. Now let's get the game-winning hit.
2-1 the count on Valera. Tommy Pham leaning at first. Not running. And the pitch is popped up. Wynn playing tricks with this, but right into the glove of the shortstop. Our next Cardinals telecast will be Tuesday afternoon. Here from Roger Dean. Cardinals will take on the Marlins, and we'll come your way at noon at St. Louis time. Hope you join us. We'll have games for you Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as we start our weekday telecasts. Nobody throwing in the Cardinals pen. This is Paul DeYoung at the plate. You can always have Lucas go 2 innings potentially too.
Yeah.
Pham, your runner at first base. 2 outs. And a ground ball that's hit to third. Force play at second. Looks like Mike Matheny trying to figure out exactly as to whether or not we are going to continue with this game. So are the players. No one is taken to the field just yet.
Yeah, I think they would predetermine that they were only going to play 9 innings. The umpires are waiting to see, but the Cardinal players are going to the clubhouses, so it's spring training, Danny.
Yes, sir. Mike Matheny, unless he's really upset, is called a tie. He's leaving. That's it. Patrick Wisdom tied it up. He thought he had ball 4. They made him get back in the box. Then he made him pay. A solo home run. It ends in a tie. 1-1.